welcome to round 3 of my 2000's horror movie battle royals. Today I'll be, as per usual, taking one episode from each year, or one horror movie from each year, and battling them against each other to see who the yearly victors? Yeah, who gets the yearly victory. And like I said in the first episode, if this is the first one you're tuning in for, go back and watch my first two, because those ones have a winner. I won't give you the year in case you haven't watched them yet. But yeah, by the time this is over, I'm only doing 10. So I was originally going to do more than that, but I thought it'd be more interesting if I just picked my 10 favorites from each year. So this is like my top 10 horror movies from 2000, 2001, all the way to 2009. And I'm taking one per episode and battling against each other. That's how this is working. So it does have an end. Once I hit my 10th episode, that'll be my first round done. And then my next round will be my 10 winners against each other to determine a whole bunch of things. Then at the very end, I will probably do like a ranking of each year of the decade in order, and see, like, it won't be just based on the 10 movies that I cover. It'll be based on the year as a whole in horror. So without further ado, let's just jump in and get these contestants going. So representing the year 2000 for this episode is The Cell. Representing 2001 is The Devil's Backbone. 2002 is in this 3-pack, but it's the bottom one, Ghost Ship. 2004 is Jeepers Creepers 2. Or sorry, that's 2003. Jeez. 2004 is Shaun of the Dead. 2005 is from my Saw collection, and it's Saw 2. 2006 is The Hills Have Eyes remake. 2007 is Planet Terror. 2008 is Mirrors. And the last one for this episode is 2009, and it's Wreck 2. So those were the 10 that I decided to go with, because I wanted to watch a few of them that I'll talk about as I get to them. I've had seen every one of these 10, some of them multiple times. Actually, most of them multiple times. But I did give a couple a rewatch just because I wanted to really see what my true ranking is. Because these are like definitive rankings for me. I can just be done. Not have to worry about it. So, my first elimination is the year 2000. And I know this is going to be blasphemy for some people, and that's The Cell. I remember liking this movie a lot more when I was younger. And this is just the Blu-ray edition. This has gotten a really nice 4K edition from Arrow Video, if you're interested in that. But I'm not, because to be honest, I'm not a big fan of this movie. I thought I was. That's why I included it in this first round 10. And also because it's one of the 10 biggest movies of the year. A lot of people love it. I'm not huge on Jennifer Lopez, first off. I think her acting in this is not great. And the only person I think does a good job, to be honest, is Vincent D'Onofrio, the bad guy. And I'm just not sucked in on it. It's weird. It's just, I watched it and I'm just kind of let down and underwhelmed, and it doesn't do much for me at all. I was just like, ew, this is, and it was annoying because Samara, my daughter, watched it for me or with me for the first time, her first watch, and I was hyping it up because I remembered liking it a lot. And when I was watching it with her, even she was like looking at me weird, like this movie isn't good. And to be honest, I started to feel that way too halfway through it. I was like, yeah, it's actually kind of cheesy, and the storyline's a bit stupid. Like, I don't know, man. It's getting eliminated first. Sorry if you're a big fan of The Cell. I know a lot of people are. But not for me. So I'll just be sticking to this Blu-ray copy. I won't be upgrading that to the 4K. That's pretty much how my collection works. Because here in Canada, 4Ks are really expensive. Especially Arrow Video ones. Like, when they first come out here now, they're like $70. I'm not going to pay $70 for a minor picture upgrade and a minor audio upgrade on a movie I don't really care for. So that's how my collection works. But my second elimination is the year 2008, and that is Mirrors. This is another one I actually remembered liking more than this time around. I remember it being pretty creepy. And, like, there is still a scene involving Amy Smart, who plays Kiefer Sutherland's sister in this movie. And her death scene's in a bathtub. And for anybody that doesn't know, they're haunted mirrors. And there's a lot of plot holes. Like, a lot of plot holes. Kiefer Sutherland is giving, like, a really good performance. But it doesn't really match the movie. Like, it's weird. Because the movie's CG fest and just feels kind of low budget. Storyline is, like, mediocre. And then he's giving, like, everything he's got in this performance. And it doesn't really align. But it's still decent. Like, I gave it a 3 out of 5. It's worth having in your collection. It's got some decent jump scares. It's got an okay storyline. But yeah, Mirrors is going bye-byes next. And then in 8th place, I'm eliminating 2002. And that is Ghost Ship. Down here on the bottom. Now, this one had the opposite effect. I remembered hating this movie and thinking it was just utter garbage. And to a lot of people, it probably still would be on a second watch. But this time around, I was actually intrigued. I was wondering what was going on. I must have just been in the mood for a good ghost ship movie. Because it landed with me. I was like, I gave it like a 3 out of 5, which is before it was probably like a 1.5. It was just, I had fun with the way the story weaved itself together. I could have done with a little less plot twists at the end, where it was like everyone's screwing everyone, basically. It was like, this looks kind of unnecessary. But it is what it is. Go into it thinking that, if you haven't seen it, go into it thinking that it's like a made-for-TV movie, because that's what it feels like. And if you watch it like that, then you might get a little more enjoyment out of it. But this is a decent 3-pack, though. Like, all 3 of these movies are available on different formats. Like, Scream Factory, I think, has put out Ghost Ship and House of Wax. Return to House on Haunted Hill isn't, but I don't need it, because they're just Blu-rays, and these are all Blu-rays, and they look fine. And it's cheap. I think this was $18. You get all 3 of them for less than the price of one Scream Factory movie. So that's the way to go if you just want them in your collection. Alright. In 7th place, I'm eliminating 2003. And that's Jeepers Creepers 2. This one is just basically a lot of fun. Where the first movie was the was in my first episode. I won't tell you where it finished, in case you haven't seen that episode yet. But the first one, to me, is actually scary. This one is, okay, we got the creeper. Now we're just going to have some fun with it. And that's what this is. The movie's just fun. And there's a lot of fun scenes where all the college kids are trapped in the bus and creepers sniffing them out. And it's more comical. If they make it funny. They're trying to go like Freddy Krueger out here, where he's like winking at kids and stuff, where in the first movie, no, he's just a terrifying organ-eating monster. And I get it. It's kind of the only way you can go with a lot of these sequels, because the mystery's gone. And there's some fun kills, good stuff, good scenes, like the creepers in it a lot, which is nice. Not much in the way of a storyline. It adds a little bit to the lore. You start to understand what he is a bit. Decent. Definitely pick Jeepers Creepers 2 up. And then, the next one is from probably the worst box set in my entire collection. And that's the Saw collection. Now, this is a Blu-ray collection the size of a DVD case. Even bigger. So it doesn't fit in my shelving properly and sticks out and looks awful. So I have it up on a shelf displaying it. So that's my first complaint. My second complaint is how they stack the discs here. Jesus, this is the worst I've ever seen. It does come with some cool art cards so you can swap out the cover. But it's just one of these cheap plastic containers. And these are what the discs look like. Stacked. And that's not all the discs. That's the problem with it. Like, if it was one disc per thing, perfectly fine. That's okay. But no, in order to find Saw 2, because this includes both the Blu-ray and the DVD of every movie on its own disc, and all kinds of special feature discs. So it's awesome in how much content you're getting. But in order to find Saw 2, I had to sit here, because they're not in any order, and try to pull. By the way, it's these things that are locked right in there. So you gotta almost break your disc in half to get it out. And then there's another one underneath. And then there's a third one under some of them. 3 snaps. So just to find Saw 2, I had to go digging. Like, I had to keep pulling them off this. Nope, not on that one. Put them all back over here. Pull them all off. Nope, not on that one. It was like the 4th one in, and then I finally found it. And I was like, oh my goodness. That is terrible. That's the worst. The worst setup in my entire collection. Because for a lot of people, non-collectors, they can't understand why us collectors would rather own these things than have them on streaming. Because most people I've argued with that don't collect and can't understand why I do will say something like, isn't it just easier to just click on your streaming service? Why get up and put a disc in a player and do all that work? And my argument is, well, it's not that much work. But in this case, it is. This one, they win the argument on this one. So that's a big reason why I don't like that. But yeah, this is Saw 2. This is the one where they bring in Donnie Wahlberg, and they're all trapped in the house that's poisoned with gas. And this one's decent. I'm going to start off by saying I'm not a fan of the Saw franchise. I really like the first one. We'll talk about that in a future episode. And then this one is a little worse than the first one for me. And then they just keep getting worse and worse, in my opinion. With a couple, like, okay ones here and there throughout the series. So, Saw 2, the storyline's good in this. Like, I'm interested enough where I'm, like, paying attention and wondering what's going on. And then the little twist ending that they try to give you is decent. I liked it. And there's some decent moments and good traps, and a couple of them are gross. One of them didn't make sense, like the girl that sticks her hands into the 2 things to get the key. For some reason, instead of just leaving her hands still, she keeps wiggling them the whole time until her wrists are all sliced. I don't understand. If your hands are stuck there, why would you be like wiggling them when the things are digging into you? It's just a minor thing. It's not even a big deal. But the reason why this movie isn't higher in this episode is because they do this thing with the filming style, where they do that like super. I don't even know what they call it, but it's where they go super fast paced. Like when she's wiggling her arms, for example, instead of just showing her do it, it's like they fast forward and wiggled the camera 100 miles an hour. So it's just showing her like, I'm just like, why? I hate those things, man. I know they trended, like these things trend. Everybody does them, but it takes me out of it a bit because now I'm kind of irritated. And it gave me like a minor headache from having to watch your stupid camera shake effect for no reason whatsoever. But yeah, Saw 2 in 6th place. It's decent. This way is a good way to have the entire collection, but to be honest, I would rather have all 10 movies on Blu-ray side by side on the shelf than just all packaged in this. I think it looks cooler. It would look cooler like that, and this also, it would be much easier. And then in 5th place, this is the only one in this episode that was a first time watch. And this is from Criterion Collection. And this is The Devil's Backbone. I love Guillermo del Toro. I think he's awesome. This comes with a pretty decent booklet. It's just the Blu-ray. Pretty sure this has a 4K now. But I'm fine with just the Blu-ray. These Criterions aren't cheap, so I'll buy the ones I don't have on 4K, but not ones I already have on Blu-ray. I really like this movie, but it is not for everyone. It is a slow-paced, extremely slow-paced ghost story with very minor horror elements, like almost none whatsoever. It almost shouldn't even be on here, but it is classified as a horror movie because it is a ghost story. It's mostly just a somebody screwing over other people's story, and the ghost story's the side thing, but it is good. Like, I gave this a 4 out of 5. It was a good watch, and on further watches, it would probably even rise on that. But for now, The Devil's Backbone is going to sit right here in 5th place for this episode, I guess. But I definitely say pick this up, and if you haven't seen it, give it a watch right away. But if you're not a fan of any of Guillermo del Toro's other movies, then you probably wouldn't like this, because like some of the other ones I've seen by him, I like a lot more than this one. And this is one of his earlier ones. This is 2001. So yeah, Devil's Backbone. And in 4th place, we're going to eliminate Rec 2 is gone. Really like this. This is another 4 out of 5 for me. This is the one where they introduce them as demons, which I love. The zombie storyline in the first one, I know they kind of let you know at the end that something weird's going on, but the zombie storyline didn't really work for me because they're so gory and brutal looking already. And they look like demons from Evil Dead. So when I'm watching the first one, I'm like, those aren't zombies, those are demons. And this one verifies that they are demons, because a scientific crew goes in to, it continues right where the first one is left off as well. And the scientific crew goes in to explain and see what's going on, and then they add a whole bunch of story elements. The girl from the first one ends up still being alive. Reasons I won't say. And there's lots of great moments where the demons talk and you start to understand what the lore they're trying to build here, and it's creepy. I love Rec. This is also from my Scream Factory Rec collection, where you get all 4 of them. That's a must grab, I think. Especially even just for the first 2. That box set's a must own. I didn't pull the whole box set out. I just pulled out this movie. But yeah, Rec 2. Getting eliminated. Now we're into my final 3 here. And my next one that's getting eliminated in 3rd place is Planet Terror. Now this is just a fun action zombie blood and gore fest from Robert Rodriguez. And it was partially written by Quentin Tarantino as well. It doesn't say here. Part of the Grindhouse double feature, which I have. I have the 2-pack Blu-ray of this, where it's both films back to back. They play them both in a row, and there's like an intermission in between stuff. That's a cool version to watch. But I also have them both on these separate Blu-rays because this is the only way to have the extended and unrated edition. So there's a lot added. It's gorier. In the other one, Death Proof, they actually have a lot of scenes missing. So yeah, this is the way to own it for me. I actually think this is the much better version as a horror fan. But yeah, Planet Terror. Anyone that hasn't seen it, obviously check it out. It's just crazy, ridiculous fun. Rose McGowan, it's a good role for her. It's one of her best, I think. I think she's really doing a good job here. With Freddie Rodriguez. Excellent action scenes. I love the Grindhouse look and feel of it. And star-studded. Lots of good stuff. Josh Brolin is some gross shit with him. But yeah, anyways, my final 2. We have Hills Have Eyes and we have Shaun of the Dead. So we got 2004 versus 2006. And I think I'm going to have to give this episode to Shaun of the Dead as my winner. I'm going to eliminate 2006. Hills Have Eyes remake. But this is close. This is really close for me. Hills Have Eyes remake to me is just uncomfortable. The scene where these guys come into their trailer and do what they do to these 2 young girls is just sickening. I'm literally infuriated when I watch it. I'm like, oh, these guys are fucked. And watching the revenge is sweet in this one to me. And I think like this really gives the original a run for its money, to be honest. But I love the original too, but I think this one's just as good probably. And yeah, this is the unrated version, which is a must because it's the actual version theatrical cuts out a lot of the really brutal shit, which to me in a movie like this you kind of lose the effect because the brutal shit in this, which isn't overly done either, like it's not like they're highlighting how beautiful these girls are before they do these scenes, because I can't stand rape revenge movies that do that, where it'll show her in the shower and the camera will slowly pan up her entire body and show you how sexually attractive she is right before they do something absolutely horrendous to her, because to me it's just fetishizing the act. Where ones like this are not. It's just no. It's not good. It's brutal. So yeah, Hills Have Eyes for me. Must see, must own. Probably get a nice 4K collector's edition eventually, I'm guessing. A lot of the boutique labels are starting to hit the 2000s movies and giving them their due. But yeah, my first winner is going to have to be Shaun of the Dead. It's not my favorite Edgar Wright movie, but I give this a 4.5, pushing towards the 5. I think it's like just a must-own, must-see. This 4K is absolutely beautiful. Like, this will never need to look and sound any better. Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos. Just awesome. Cheap, too. I think I got this for like $18. Comes with the Blu-ray and the 4K. Yeah, Director Edgar Wright joins actors Simon Pegg and Nick Frost 20 years later to reflect on the funniest zombie movie. There's all kinds of extras on here, and I love it. I think it's just really good stuff. It's paying homage to all the classic zombie movies, and must own, must see. I did, like, this is probably like my 20th time watching this movie, but I had to watch it on the 4K just to check it out, because I hadn't yet, and I'm like, okay, I need to definitely give this one a round on this 4K, and I was shocked at how good it looked. I was like, ooh, wow, good job with this. But it's just a fun movie. Just fun. And I'm a huge Edgar Wright fan. But yeah, that's it. So my third winner is from 2004. So far, let me think without spoiling. I have that year, I have 2004 as a winner. Yeah, all three of them have been different years so far. So I have 3 different winners, 3 different years. But yeah, I'm going to try and get 3 up this week. Round 5. I've already watched all the movies. I'm going to record that tomorrow night and pump that one out. And I'm already halfway through round... round 4 is next. That one's ready to go. I'm already halfway through round 5. So both of those will be ready this week. I might even get number 6 up on the weekend. And like I said, I'm only doing 10. And then I'm going to move on to a new decade. Maybe at the end I'll also take like a little vote for anybody that's actually still watching at that point, to see if anybody has a choice decade that they'd like me to do. Because I love every decade, so I'll do any decade. I'll even do the 20s and the 30s and the 40s. I'll do them all. So, anywhere you want. So, yeah. Thank you for checking this one out, and I will see you in a couple days.